just gonna start. This will record it'll at least 15, 20 minutes before anything cuts out. So when I'm done, I'll come over and stop it and start it again from the next person.
Okay. All right, we're ready.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Whoop. Hello. All right. Boom, 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 boom. Hey guys, I'm just gonna say something. So just get yourself some water, food, whatever. Just have a seat, please. Hang out. Welcome. Yeah, thanks everybody for coming. This is awesome. It's a big turnout. I'm not surprised, considering Danielle and her effect on everybody. She had such a large presence, That's why we're all here. Charlie, come here. You want to say hi? Oh, man. Try to skip that remote. We have 2 decoy remotes with no batteries in them back at the house. It's the best trick ever. I highly recommend it. All right, so I'm going to tell a couple stories today. This is only going to be maybe about 8-10 minutes, something like that. But just some stories about Danielle that I think exemplify her values and how she viewed the world. First part here. About a month or two after I met Danielle in 2009, she started a job as an executive assistant for a CEO at a biotech company. She had just gotten laid off from the Intercontinental Hotel, and I was a little nervous about how this was going to happen because she's changing jobs, changing industries. She didn't have a college degree. The recession was hitting real bad at that time. That's why the hotel was they was laying everybody off. But I was really impressed that she was able to just get this job as an EA for a CEO. I said, this person must be pretty special. Danielle had just gotten laid off. I was very intrigued about what was going to happen. What I came to quickly discover was how dedicated Danielle was to whatever she set her sights on. She was working day and night as that EA, and it was the perfect job for her personality. She was very good at it. Her personality, it was a perfect fit for her personality, and it was very good. She was very good at the job. She dedicated herself so much to supporting her boss that it wasn't long before her and I were babysitting his kids outside of work, taking their kids to the movies and stuff. So it wasn't long till I realized that being hitched to Danielle meant that I, too, was also to be dedicated to whatever she set her sights on. When we renovated our first house in Sudbury, she took on the job of project manager, which was a perfect job for her. I still get Google Calendar invites for meetings and stuff. But, sorry. She was the project manager and the chief architect. It was a perfect job for her. She made schedules, held meetings, made a 3-ring binder with all of the design ideas and how the house was supposed to look, how it shall look when we're done, my dad and I. She made sure we ordered long lead items and all that, and she maintained the consistent vision of how the finished home was going to look. But she also got her hands dirty. Danielle did demolition, she painted, she did tile. I still get a laugh out of how I took advantage of her drive a little bit and had her do the blown-in insulation in the farthest part of the attic where it was very low slope in there, where I was not going to fit. And she still always was doing design work, right? All the parties that she ever threw. The house that we live in now, it has farmhouse charm for days. She was very proud that we could own that place and start working there. So Danielle, when she convinced me that we should get a dog, I knew that it wasn't just going to be get a dog. It was going to be the best dog ever. She was going to get a long coat German Shepherd from a breeder in Nebraska, right? And she was going to train that dog to be a therapy dog. And this dog were going to go into hospitals and nursing homes and libraries and all that. And cheer up kids, families. She was sick at the time. She knew she had cancer, and that's something that she wanted to be part of. And Kerrigan and Danielle got certified with 2 different organizations, and they did go to hospitals and libraries and nursing homes. They had vests and badges, and Danielle was very satisfied with herself. Danielle did so much research trying to get this dog that, and this is not a joke, what I'm about to tell you. When we picked up Kerrigan from the airport, Danielle had already researched where, like, a patch of grass, what was the closest patch of grass that because the dog's going to come out of a crate, right, from out of the cargo bag. Where's the closest patch of grass? Because that's where Kerrigan's going to want to go pee. But actually, where's the second closest patch of grass? Because that first one is where everyone else is going to bring their dog. And that's where the diseases are going to be. And Kerrigan is going to go, she can't be exposed to that. So where's the next closest patch of grass? So Kerrigan was and always will be Danielle's first baby. I'm sorry she couldn't be here today. So the pinnacle of Danielle's life was becoming a mom to a human mom, of course. I think Charlie's running around out there. The planning and preparation for Charlie's arrival was orders of magnitude greater than anything I just said, any of these previous endeavors. With an adoption, you're basically 9 months pregnant for like a year, 2 years, because you never know when you're going to get the phone call. So everything was in order. The nursery was ready. We had clothes and food, and even 2 different daycares were like lined up. And when we got the call, we packed up, about a month's worth of food, because it was March of 2020. Our office is only closed like a week earlier. So we said, why are we here in Massachusetts? Why don't we just go to Florida? It's April, it's March, early March. It's early April. Let's just go down there. And we should have stayed, actually. We should still be down there, in my opinion. What was I say here? Yeah, there was even roadblocks on the road in like I-95 to stop people from New York going to Florida, and there was one on I-10 coming from Louisiana because New Orleans was another like super spreader event at the time. So we had to go through Atlanta, go around the roadblock and all that. She had to get special permission to get an Airbnb. It was everything was canceled. But we made it happen. And Danielle really got to be a mom for only about 2 years, almost 2 years. And it was the best 2 years of her life. We were at home full time, right? It was very unique. And we had, I always will remember that we got a very special situation with the pandemic, that we got to spend almost 750 days straight, uninterrupted, for 2020 and 21. Not only raising Charlie, but also Danielle's last 2 years of her life. So we got to spend all that time together. It was really special. So Danielle wasn't a philosophical person, but I think I understand what she believed in and where it came from. The way Danielle grew up taught her some pretty hard lessons about self-reliance and independence. Whatever she wanted, however she was going to get it, it was entirely up to her to make it happen. That included making strong friendships in both her private and professional life. Here's a quote that I think is appropriate. Invest in your friendships. Having good friends pays dividends, and it's not a big investment. It's a million small investments. And with that in mind, and knowing Danielle, and listening to these stories that I told you today, I hope you'd agree with me of what made Danielle such a special person. She took responsibility very seriously. That's what made her such a good EA. That's what made her such a good mom and a great friend. She cared, she was hyper vigilant to maintain her friendships and maintain all of her relationships in her life. Responsibility, I think, is what gave Danielle's life meaning and sustained her through the hard times of basically what was, 7 years of dealing with cancer. So Danielle, obviously, I think you might have even heard this, is that she planned this event. This is where she wanted this to happen. It's modeled after my grandmother's celebration that we had here too. Except my grandmother didn't have a gigantic photo of herself out front. That's entirely Danielle's choosing for herself, which I'm not kidding. It's actually, I didn't think she didn't think she was serious, but she was very serious. She'd be very proud to see all of us here today, all of you. And she'd be very proud of her girlfriends that helped set this up. Thank you. And thank you to everybody for attending. Please sign the guest book and check out the photo albums that we've got over here. And let's continue to tell stories about Danielle, what made her special, and the impacts that she had. And let's all keep her in our thoughts. Thank you. I'm going to hand this over to TKP. TKP. I'm just going to reset the
Oh boy. You didn't bring any tissues up here?